All right, let's flip it over to the game that, and I'm going to be fully transparent. I've got my notes. I watched Chiefs-Chargers all the way until like 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Don't spoil it for me. But I've seen enough to come to some very important conclusions as it relates to the LA Chargers.
Yeah.
As it relates to the decision to make Justin Herbert, the quarterback from Oregon, the guy we met in Indianapolis before the world turned upside down, and we were impressed with him when we had a chance to sit down with him. I'm far more impressed by what I saw in 2.5 quarters of action. This guy has it.
Right.
And I don't know what the hell Anthony Lynn is thinking. Now, maybe he's just being respectful to Tyrod Taylor, and now we know that there was a bad pain-killing injection that created the chest pains that sent him to the hospital, and maybe they just don't want to take the guy's job away from him at this point. I don't know how anyone can watch what Justin Herbert did on Sunday and not conclude that he's both the future and the present for the LA Chargers.
I'm with you there, Mike. I am. I mean, if I was them, I would start the new era. I really would. You can play the style of football Anthony Lynn wants to play with Justin Herbert. Yeah, he made an interception. It was his bad play of the day. It was he had 2nd and 2. He could have ran for the first down, and he tried to throw the ball across his body down the field. That was stupid. There's no doubt about it. 17-9. But you also okay, that was stupid. He made some throws in that play and plays in that game that Tyrod Taylor and a lot of quarterbacks in football aren't going to make. So you have to take that into account too. They were up at that point because of some of those plays. First off, Mike, I mean, aren't you amazed by his his look on the field? To me, the first thing that jumps out is I turn it on and I go, other than Cam Newton, is there a bigger quarterback on the field right now than Justin Herbert? He's got great size, and we saw what he can do when he runs and punish people. I thought that was the first thing that jumped out, let alone his ability to really throw and make game-changing type throws.
It is such a jarring combination, this giant with a fresh face, with not quite doe-eyed, right? Because the moment wasn't too big for him. But all of a sudden, this sport that we're accustomed to watching, we know the names, we know the faces, and here's this new guy who gets thrust into the mix without warning, literally. I mean, he found out minutes before kickoff he was going to be playing, and he has it. You can just tell, and that's one of the reasons we missed the preseason this year. You don't get the chance to see who passes the eyeball test and who doesn't. Well, here's Justin Herbert in his home opener. No fans there, but regardless, there wouldn't have been many Chargers fans anywhere relative to the Chiefs fans. He's got it. He can move and he can throw. He had a touchdown run. He found a gear. Good luck catching him when he finds that gear, when he turns the corner and heads to the end zone. He's going to be a weapon that way. He's clearly a weapon in the passing game. Some of the throws he made, he had a 39-yard pass to Mike Williams that Tyrann Mathieu made a great play on in the first half. That thing was, as you would say, a freaking laser. It was incredible. Incredible. And he had other throws like that. He had throws that connected and that didn't connect. There was one where he tried to fit one into Keenan Allen in the third quarter.
Down the middle?
Nobody else makes that throw except maybe Patrick Mahomes.
I agree.
And he put it there.
Right. That was an eye-popping throw. I know the throw you're talking about. Keenan Allen down the middle, and he's got like 2 or 3 guys around him to where you go, ooh, is he really going to throw this? I see that the guy's a little open, but this is dicey. And it was on the money. And you're right. I came away saying the same thing. Like a few of these throws, these are only like your top-tier NFL arm-type throws. Even the touchdown pass in the back left corner. That was
unbelievable.
A laser, right? The corner's in a position where he's trying to look at the guy inside and outside because he's going, wait, the back of the end zone's behind me. There's not that much room for this guy to just throw some missile by me. And I think
he did.
The pace of the ball shocked him, right? I mean,
amazing.
Yes, amazing. So that's what arm can do. And you're right. I mean, if I'm the Chargers, I know Anthony Lynn wants to go with Tyrod Taylor, but I just got to think there's got to be a deeper conversation about the better move for the future of the organization and everything about it.
One of the things that keeps me focused on watching the condensed games, because I really have to fight, because there's always a distraction. I can always see, is there a new story that I need to cover? Did somebody text me? It's very hard for me to remain focused. One of the things that helps me keep my focus, I'm always watching for something unusual. That's my challenge.
Right.
Look for something that stands out. For example, there was a 4th-and-1 play in the second quarter. The right guard of the Chargers clearly left early and it was missed. You're wired to watch for things like that.
Right.
They converted, by the way, and they went down to get a field goal. There was a moment, and I think it was that same drive, 2nd and 3 from the 19. the Chiefs 19. Austin Eckler has a nice little run. He breaks it free. He gets down toward and at the end of the play, here comes Justin Herbert barreling into the action, not recklessly, almost like a guy following his shot in basketball. Like that presence of mind. Like this play is still going on. There's something I may be able to do. It's the old right place, right time. It reminds me of how Tony Dungy explained the Franco Harris mindset that led to the Immaculate Reception. Because Tony Dungy wasn't playing for the Steelers when the Immaculate Reception happened. When Tony Dungy got to Pittsburgh, he said, I'm not surprised by the fact he made that play because in practice, he's always hustling to the ball. He's always trying to make something happen. And this is the reality. You can have 99.999% of the time where you do that and nobody notices. There's no gain. There's no benefit. That one time, though, that something screwy happens and you're there, that's a play for the ages.
Yeah.
So just the fact that in the guy's first game, when he had no chance to even think about it, he's showing that kind of hustle, and not every quarterback should because you're putting yourself in harm's way. He didn't get hit or anything. That was the moment to me that said, we can say all the things we want about the arm, about the legs, about the body, but this guy's got a mentality that is going to serve him very well over the next 15 or 20 years. They have their guy.
Yeah.
And the sooner they admit it, the better off they're going to be.
Yeah, I agree with you there too. I do. And I think what you're explaining is a guy that you look at and you go, yeah, he's a quarterback, and I see he's got big time, but he's a football player. He really is. He's just got a feel for what needs to be done in the game and just hustling and like you're talking about, running after the ball. Ooh, maybe the ball falls on the ground. Maybe the guy breaks a tackle and I can, nudge somebody out of the way and spring them for a bigger run. That's what football players do. And, yeah, the kid's got incredible talent, an incredibly high ceiling. He really does. He could be a superstar with the skill set he has, and you could see he's got the poise too. He wasn't like flustered at all. At any moment in that football game, he was always calm, cool, and collect. And yeah, some of the things he did, especially in the first half, were pretty damn special.
Hey, and at the end of the half, they didn't have a whole lot of time. They had a couple of timeouts. He was poised and confident, and he conducted a 2-minute drive that put them in position, even with a couple of penalties. And at the end, they had a hook and lateral play that came that close to popping for a touchdown.
Right.
If Keenan Allen makes the flip more accurately to Austin Eckler, that's a touchdown to end the half. And, oh, boy, I don't know that the Chiefs can close that margin. Let's flip it over now.
Yeah.
And I didn't, again, I ran out of time at about 8 minutes left in the third quarter. And the Chiefs' offense had not done much by then.
No.
Why did it take so long for them to wake up, and then what finally happened?
Well, okay, so here's the first thing is it's this defensive scheme. This defensive scheme really gives the Kansas City Chiefs issues. I mean, we've known last year, Mexico City against the Chargers, they struggled offensively, right? They've lost to the Seattle Seahawks 2 years ago up in Seattle. They lost to the Chargers 2 years ago in a Thursday night game. They've played this scheme even in the Super Bowl, down 20-10. I mean, it wasn't a pretty day. We know they made the plays to win the game, but there was a lot of moments of going, damn, I don't know, they're in trouble. They can't seem to find a big play or expose this defensive scheme. It gives them issues, and the Chargers have the right formula. Not only is the scheme, allow them to drop 7, but they have the front four to where they don't ever have to blitz. They never have to blitz. They rarely blitzed in the football game itself. And then because of Bosa, Ingram, and Jerry Tillery, who is establishing himself as one of the better interior pass rushers in football here already, and I saw him in person for a few years at Notre Dame. He's the real deal. That is the first advantage they have to harass that Chiefs offense.
I'm not up on my full history of interior pass rushers who went to Notre Dame, but there is one who turned out to be pretty damn good, and his name was Alan Page. And it's too early to start making those comparisons, but he did block an extra point, which was one of Page's extra things on top of everything else he did. But that's the one thing I noticed in the first half. And, Von Miller told us at the Super Bowl how the challenge with defending Patrick Mahomes is he just keeps fading back and back and back. There was a lot of fading back and back and back because it was Bosa, it was Ingram, it was Tillery. Busting through and putting the heat on him, forcing him to drop back, and ultimately forcing him to throw to someone who wasn't there.
Yeah, and really, the bottom line, and one of the things I said on my podcast yesterday when I do my deep dive of, games and stuff, and this was one of the games I watched on film, they don't win this game if it isn't for Patrick Mahomes' legs. He won the game because of his running. It was nothing to do. His arm, we know it's special, but First touchdown drive. 2 big scrambles that really were the biggest plays of that drive to get them down there to score the touchdown. 3rd and 20, 21-yard scramble. Helps them get the game-tying field goal at that time. Oh, break the pocket to the right. Full on the run, laser 50-yard like nobody else in football even attempts to throw it. Oh, bam, on the money to Tyreek Hill, touchdown. Here we go, Chiefs. Like, if his movement isn't the way it is in that game and his ability to do that, they're not going to be able to do anything on the offensive side of the ball. Again, this goes back to our conversation where I'm a little surprised the Chiefs have to study some other offenses who have had success against this defensive scheme. You know, the teams I think about right off the bat are the Patriots and McDaniels, because they played the Seahawks and the Falcons in the Super Bowl. They know what it takes. Shanahan's had success against the scheme itself. But they don't have enough plays that expose the scheme and enough underneath stuff. That's really the big thing. And I was surprised by that because it was an issue last year and they kind of answered the bell. But you take away the big plays, Kansas City, again, showed that they will struggle with just executing and moving the ball consistently when you do that.
Yeah, it's something to see, and it's going to be, we're trying to figure out where the rivalries are going to be. Who are the teams that are going to contend with the Chiefs? Do we just hand the next 6 Super Bowls to them? I don't know that we can hand the next 6 division titles to them. Not with Justin Herbert. I want to circle back to that. Yeah. The Chargers have something. And here's what Anthony Lynn now needs to worry about. He better make it happen with Herbert, because you're going to have other guys out there looking at their options around the NFL, and they're going to eyeball the opportunity to hitch their wagon to Justin Herbert.
Oh, yes.
And Lynn's going to have to worry about guys working behind the scenes, trying to convince the Chargers to make a change, trying to get the Chargers to hire him. Here's how I'd make your team better. A lot of crap that happens off the grid. Anthony Lynn's going to have to worry about that if he doesn't get the most out of Justin Herbert. And one way to get the most out of him is to get him on the field. And I looked it up. It was 2 years ago to the day that Tyrod Taylor got injured in that Thursday night game.
I thought so.
Against the Jets. 2 years to the day, and got bounced for Baker Mayfield. Well, let me tell you, what we saw from Justin Herbert on Sunday was a hell of a lot better than what we saw from Baker Mayfield that Thursday night. This should be a no-brainer. I understand, out of respect to Tyrod Taylor, you don't want to tell him he's lost his job on the day that he had to go to the hospital because he had chest pains, but this should be a no-brainer. And this is the kind of thing where I think if they have any difficulty, if they put Taylor back under center, you're going to start having the uprising in the locker room.
Agreed. And you're going to have everything. You're going to have the fans and the media just going, "Why aren't we playing Herbert?"
They don't have any fans.
Well, you're right. I know, but
they will. Yeah. They will if they play Justin Herbert.
He certainly will help that out. And then the other thing, just the reality of the situation. 2 things, and I want to get your take on this. I mean, first off, you said it. Are they being like this extra more with saying Tyrod's going to come back because it sounds like it was a Charger-inflicted, issue, right? Like, oh, we gave you a shot in the rib or something like that.
Don't sue us, Tyrod.
Don't
you still have your job.
We're the ones that aggravated it. My fault. Yep, you're still starting. But I would just think, this is the week to do it right now for Justin Herbert. You got the Carolina Panthers coming to town without Christian McCaffrey. This is a defense that we've seen people can move the ball on Carolina, and with no Christian McCaffrey, that's a huge part of their offense that'll be missing. It can set itself up for you to win this football game, and yes, let your young rookie quarterback get important reps, build some confidence, and who knows? I mean, gosh, we've seen a lot of rookie quarterbacks make their teams better, challenge for playoff spots here in the recent NFL era, to where I don't think it's crazy. And I think he can play the ball control, defensive style, take care of the ball type of football. I think he's capable of that.
And after that game against the Panthers, here's where it gets extremely compelling, because it's Chargers at 43-year-old #Tommy, followed by Chargers at 41-year-old Drew Brees.
Yeah.
What a contrast.
Whoa.
If Justin Herbert comes in, and look, I'm telling you, the kid's got it, and it's amazing to see Joe Burrow's got it, Justin Herbert's got it. Chances are Tua Tagovailoa doesn't, because usually one of the hopefully all 3 have it.
Yeah.
Right? But 2 out of 3 taken in the top 6 for 2020, passed the test, seal of approval. they are the guys. Now the question is, what does the team do around them? And for the Chargers, the question is, are they going to recognize this is the guy? And are they going to keep the ball in the hands of Justin Herbert and let him keep getting better and let him be exciting and let him lead the team? And you know, they got to be thinking about next year. And, you know, by next year, Herbert's going to be the guy when the fans come back.
Right.
But I'm more excited about the Chargers right now than I am about the Rams.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean, I get it. He's got, you know, you saw enough in that game to go, well, wait, this guy could be one of those guys that just every week we go, oh, that's special. Whoa. You know, like we do a little bit with Josh Allen and the Mahomes and those kind of guys where you just go, man, I've never seen anybody do that, or I can't believe he made that play. And they have offensive talent around them. Added to the fact, like, in week one, and this is what I always worry about Tyrod Taylor, you know, the ability to make plays in the pass game, throwing the ball down the field, doing that stuff. I think it's far greater likelihood that they can accomplish more explosive pass plays in the pass game with Justin Herbert. I think he already proved that. And then just that game that, okay, he can do things and he has an aggressive frame of mind that's just a little different than Tyrod. And it gives guys like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, you know, a more dangerous edge to them now because, oh, wait, they can go down the field and strike us that way. But I don't know, Mike, maybe that Tampa Bay, New Orleans part of the schedule is what's making Anthony Lynn hesitant. Maybe he sees that and goes, wait, I don't know if I want my rookie with those two games. This is where maybe I just need a Tyrod Taylor. They do a lot of different things on defense, but yeah, I don't know.
He just stared down Patrick Mahomes.
I know, and a defense that's complicated.
To go to overtime.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, look, I got a ton of respect for Anthony Lynn. I don't know what he's thinking if he doesn't go with Justin Herbert this coming weekend, and if he doesn't, he's taking a risk that I don't think he should be taking because he's been given a gift by the football gods in Justin Herbert, and he only has to recognize it.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.